Now, let me just double check that this is in fact streaming, because I've made this mistake many times. I'm just going to double check that. Just going to double check that. Yep, looks like it is. Yep, went straight to it. All right, well, obviously we're just going to wait for people to come in, because we have exposed something incredible, haven't we? Shane Dowling, who I obviously thought was the most... Excuse me for a second. Excuse me. I was absolutely shocked to learn what was in that video. When we came across that, when we were doing our hard investigatory research into that, I was honestly shocked to see that a man that makes all of his money, his entire livelihood, his entire reputation, is based off of standing up against the endemic of all of the corrupt PDF files in the legal system, namely the judges. And yet he has the gall to get secretly funded by these said judges. My word. I mean, we all saw the proof. It's all there for everybody to see. And this is the man that dares take a swing at me. Maybe you should look in your own house, Shane, because it seems to be made of glass. Christ, he's stupid, isn't he? And on top of that, the big takeaway that I always have from that video, every time I go back and look at it, every single time, is you have no idea how hard my editor had to work to make that presentable. He is so boring. It's hard to listen to 10 seconds of that man. That man has the uncanny ability of literally 10 seconds of footage being put on 1.5 speed. So what are we at? 7.5 seconds of footage. And he's still boring. He makes it feel like you're listening to it for 70 minutes. How is it possible? He's such a time void of anything. We often have said this. If that man had the personality of Alex Jones, he would be unstoppable, because he says things that go even further than what Alex Jones will say. That man would be the greatest conspiracy theorist nutter of all time, and he is wasted with his moniker of being a fugitive journalist. He is not a fugitive journalist. What he is a dope on Queensland whose brain has been fried. That's all he is. So, anyway, we will be taking some questions until we get everybody that comes in and starts watching this instead of, obviously, State of Origin. Oh, God, I reminded you of it. Look at my numbers. So in the meantime, you know, ask away, give us some questions. I, in the meantime, will not be saying much. Well, actually, I will be, because, you know, I feel like I should probably be doing something with your time. Not much, though. Not much at all. There we go. Love your work, bro. Love seeing you ruining them. Keep it going. Thank you very much. That's how we do it. That's our gasoline, our fuel. Yum, 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 yum. Little $5 donation. Thank you, Lee. So, yeah, that is pretty much it. We're going to be doing a live stream coverage of Shane Dowling, Independent Journalist video until I get bored of it, which probably will be very soon, because it's just so hard to listen to that man. It really is. This is the thing that I wish about all of my enemies online. Just the endless slew of slop tubers that are coming out, which, oh, shit. Someone sent me a fucking hilarious... I'm going to try and get that up. But yeah, anyway. But it's just, don't you think? There's just so many of them now. What the hell happened? All of a sudden, I really don't know what it is. It's like in the past year, maybe the last year and a half, there's all these political commentators that have just come out of nowhere. And they're all terrible. They're all really, really dishonest or dumb. Take your pick. Sometimes it's a combination. Like the previous chap that we had a laugh at together. Now, let me just say this. So, when are you going to change your name to Gendly Fraudies? Jackie. Look, if my chief editor wouldn't have a heart attack, if I did that, I would be doing it right now. Very good suggestion. State of origin on tonight. Let's go Queensland. Okay, Monsky, you don't have to tell everyone, all right? I'm trying to keep this a secret. Screwing me over. But yes, obviously, this is the game that stops a portion of the nation. It's so sad that none of you will ever know. On the West Coast, the South, you will never know the simple and breathtaking joys of seeing a Islander man finger another Islander man on stage as a tactic in sport. Can't wait to see Shane, aka Gary Awesome 2.0's reaction to the video on live stream. Might need a game of Moans too. The quest for more whinging. Timmy. Bringing the gold as always. Game of Moans 2, the quest for more whinging. So true. But that's what it is, isn't it? It's just this endless quest for shit to complain about. Do you... And just if they don't have anything to complain about, they will make it up. What a pathetically sad life. Isn't it incredible that there are people out there that their entire existence seems to be predicated off of, I want the government to be shit so I can complain. Don't you have better things to do with your limited time on Earth? I mean, I clearly don't, but you know, imagine that there'd be others, especially... Look, hang on. Do you think you're a bit too mean to Elise Peach? Who the hell's that? The TikTok Twitcher. Oh, right. That tried to debunk you on whether the ALP lost because of negative gearing. Thank you very much for $5 exit Molly. No. Christ, no. You take a swing at me, I will drop a nuke on you. I'm sorry. Like, how dare you? That is so prevalent throughout all of these people, is that you just have to deal with this endless backdrop of character assassination. And now that we live in the age of TikTok, you can spread that to hundreds of thousands of people immediately. So you got to nip that in the bud. That's not happening. I did not spend 10 years of my life risking my life and the staff that risked theirs as well to just undermine our credibility by a bunch of shitheads like this Shane Dowling here and the rest of them to sit there and just make cheap views off of my name and denigrate that. Like, that was well earned. Our trustability was well earned. The thing that you can really fault us, if anything, this is a very resume thing, but like, if anything, we're too honest. Like, our entire thing is just predicated off, here are our biases, deal with it. Listen to what we have to say. We're trying to tell you the truth. Obviously, if we get it wrong, we will correct it. None of these ever will, ever. I'd like to see if Elise Peach says anything about her, like, appalling hit job. Hers was unique in how stupid it was. Keep up the good work, Jordan. My parents and I love watching you, even though I had to explain to them what edging is because of your video. Which one? So many edging references recently. Cairo, you're going to have to be a little more specific than that, but thank you very much for it. How do you think Albo would have done if he was taking a fish on the... If he was a talking fish on the wall and all he could do was sing Frank Sinatra? Goose, you're making it really hard for him. Can't he just be a fish on the wall that is him and sentient? That's a really hellish existence you're writing here. This is very Black Mirror-esque. So you're saying that Albo's consciousness is in a fish, and all he can do is go like, don't worry, be happy. Well, I'll tell you this. He probably still would have beaten Dutton. Caught another live stream. Thank you very much for your $7.99. Why is Geordie dressed like a 1980s gym teacher? Oh, sorry, I was just doing a bunch of Jordan Shanks films before this, and now I can't be bothered to do it. But that's the official outfit of Jordan Shanks, dressing like a 1980s gym teacher. Hey, big boy, love your work. Now Labour won, we can free McBride. No, we can't. He just lost his appeal. Crap, that poor man. And sorry, I'm trying to hit this. All right, good. I think I overdressed all of them. There we go. All right, sick. Now, we are just waiting for this to up a little bit more, seeing as this stream started 8 minutes ago, so we'll probably just be talking for half an hour. So in the meantime, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, please let me know, and I will answer them to my best of my ability in the meantime, while we wait for all of you to pull in and listen to the most unlistenable man on earth, Shane Dowling, just going through the rest of his Because it's just incredible. Just like dumb accusation after dumb accusation. And hey, if we've got time after that, maybe we'll watch that 7:30 report. No, sorry, wasn't it Four Corners? The Four Corners report on what the Liberals think went wrong. You're my favourite male model. Sigma Balls, I challenge you to name a single other one. It's not a particularly well-known profession. In fact, actually, here's one. Is Sean Oprey well-known? Or is that just in my field? What's happening to old Sean these days? I'm going to see. But that guy was like the guy back in the day. That and Matthias Lauritsen. But like Matthias is ugly as shit now. I think Sean, he's 35-year-old. Yeah, see, he's still getting GQ Career Times. He's unbeatable. Let me see. Sean Oprey, Instagram. I mean, he's doing numbers on Instagram. He's got 700,000 followers. That's okay. Expect more. Buck, he is getting grey, though. Holy shit, what time does to a man. Yeah, his face is fleshed out a bit. Look, man, all of those, like, guys that really killed it when they were 19, they're not really faring well in their 30s. And now that I've said that, I've realised that I've just paid myself out. Whatever. The point is, recommendation for Confess Your Sins. The rest of the gambling sector. Dad was a bookie. Ooh, Monsky, that is a very good suggestion. It's a very good suggestion, sir. And I just might do it. What do you reckon? I just realised that you can't answer me. This is insane. I'm speaking in a vacuum. What else have you got? But yes, I will be looking into that, Monsky. That's a very good suggestion. I like that a lot. Are you bringing your Alien show back to Adelaide? Justin, yes, I am. Why, are you watching it again, are you, little autist? What's going on there? What did you miss it the last time? To answer your question, though, yes. Yes, I am, lad. Now that Albo has purged the country of the Green Scourge and dismantled the LNP alliance, become God Emperor Antonia, will we finally get the Warhammer video? Well, just as a treat, while we're waiting for people to pull in, maybe we will watch some Warhammer now together, shall we? Jesus, you and all of my autistic children. Warhammer, shut up. Let me see if they've got any new. Let's see if there's anything new in the world of Warhammer that I can immediately YouTube. The Horus Heresy, that looks like some new animation that we can all watch together and be like, wow, this isn't lame that we're in our 30s. Do it. Also, I'm a lady. I'm a lady. Are you a lady or are you a lady? I don't know now because you have just you've written out the joke. It's very hard for me to see. It's hard for me to get sarcasm at the best of times. But right now, what do you think about the CFA tax in Victoria? Is it just the media? Is it actually a Labor fuck-up? Is it justified? Again, I'm not even sure that Victoria is part of Australia. I reckon that if you looked in the Constitution and no one has, it would be its own entity and state. I have no idea what is going on in Victoria. None. One day, I will get around to it. Mate, what can we do to help McBride understand that Australia is an outpost of the USA with a break of cause? Is Labor putting pressure on letting him free now, or is now it's Labor, it's okay? No, it's not okay. What are you talking about? Of course it's not okay. But that's the world. I don't think that there's anything that you can do about it. I think that McBride just has to do his time now. He tried to appeal. He lost. I don't think that there's anything more that he can... I think that's the end of his legal avenues. I mean, again, I am not abreast of the legal case and the ins and outs of it as I once was, for reasons that I refuse to get into. But he... Yeah, dude, he's got to do it. I think he's got to do it. I think that's it. How would you... 94 seats. How do you think Albo would have done if he was a gorilla in a top hat and a bow tie? And the top hat said, I'm a killer gorilla. Can it say anything else? Can it say, like, Handsome George? Or, 5 cents to watch it spin? Look, if it says, I'm a killer gorilla, okay. He would have done all right. But if we could just get him, like, a little bit of, teach him some tap dancing, get him to sing along with Shirley Temple, maybe even bring Shirley Temple up onto Centrepoint Tower at the top, and then just be like, Westfield. That'd be great. Yeah, I would much prefer if Albo was a gorilla in a top hat, frankly. Wouldn't we all? 94 seats is okay. Mid. Labour would have won 112 seats if they ran my exact political beliefs as their platforms, Colin. Oh, ain't it the truth? Oh, so true. Damn, Colio, why are you hitting all the hard facts? Why are you always so on point? Why are you always taking all of these strategists to task, hey? When you hit your Silver Fox stage, would you ever return to modelling? Also, Greens larpers need to look at 80s French President Mitterrand and see why Keating did the right thing in his reforms. I think I know who you're talking about, but I don't know anything more. I just remember once this French guy talking about it that I was like housemates with, and he was like, it was a very funny time, no? Okay, that actually could be a very deep cut. That is actually probably, having not known anything, maybe one of the wisest things that I've ever been given in short little tidbits of information. Thank you, sir. Any thoughts on New Zealand politics and the Greens Party in New Zealand? Don't know a thing about it. Nothing. Victoria and New Zealand realm in the same area as in my head. You know, green, lush. This isn't me. This isn't a brown, desolate sheep paddock. This can't be part of Australia. I came here because I wanted lies and propaganda. Also, did you ever end up having a crack at pinball yet? Oh, good on you, Jay. Thank you. Well, you've come to the right place for lies and propaganda. Jay, I know exactly who you are because that was one of the most entertaining things I've ever heard in my life. I think that you should definitely make one of those documentaries that are completely out of fashion now of some extremely niche organization with all of their eccentric people around it. You know what I'm talking about? Like the Scrabble documentary and the Video Donkey Kong documentary. Video Donkey Kong. That's what it's called, isn't it? Yeah, I've played pinball before. What are you talking about? Evening, Comrade Jordan. Do you think these sudden character attacks on you are related to you exposing the Greens? Most of them YouTubers seem to be a bit fit the bill of a typical Greens voter. Yes, that's exactly what it is. These people are the most obnoxious, negative people on earth. There is a reason that they always fall into the Greens, I think, honestly, because you just read any of the comments that they ever say, and it'll be something like, I've got one here because I'm going to respond to it in real time. But this just sums up something that I get over and over and over and over and over again. When I first heard of Geordies a year or two ago, he was respectable with his quirks and proper use of data. But slowly realizing he's a Labour simp makes me sad. Don't take sides. If you hate the game, hate all the players. So what is this idiot admitting here? He is admitting that me doing exactly what I've done my entire career, which is follow the facts, follow the data. When that leads to a negative response, that's good. Okay? That's a good thing. That's a good thing when the country is going in the wrong direction. That's a good thing for whatever reason. Using those exact same analytical tools, which is just reading graphs, when you do that, and it shows that the country is going in the right direction, all of a sudden that makes this man sad. And the reason that it should be sad is because he wants someone to endlessly shit on whoever is in government, no matter what is happening, whether that is a good government, that needs to be shit on endlessly, so that when he's taking a shit, he can sit there and think, everyone in Canberra is shitter than me. That's what he wants. That's the type of person that is attracted to the Greens endlessly. They always, and every single time, it's like this weird contradiction of needing whoever is in power to endlessly be bad because that fills some egoic need of theirs for some reason. I have no idea why. And then on top of that, always feeding out just these impossible, stupid, utopic fantasy worlds that they've just put in their heads. It's very cringe, Reddity behavior, sitting there and saying, oh, you know, maybe we should just have all land and property decommodified. And it's like, look, okay, first off, not even sure if that's a real thing, right? I'm sorry, a good thing. Not even sure if it's a good thing. But I can guarantee you one thing, it's never going to happen. And this is the kind of goalpost that they shift to. And eventually this type of person will always move to some utopic state so that they can always feel morally superior without having to deliver anything. What are your thoughts on the NW shelf extension? I've seen a lot of online anger / outrage. It doesn't seem that bad to me. Liam, look, having not looked into it at all, I can assure you that it is bullshit. No, but like, look, I will look into it. I always do. But inevitably, it is just the same pattern. It's exactly the same thing with salmon farming, for instance, right? It is the same. It's just hitting all the right notes, isn't it? It's the same people pushing it. It's the same institutions, all pushing the same, all the same taglines. It really feels like this is what's happening again. But yeah, I guess I will look into it. First, we've got to do a video on superannuation, though, because that was their big little... The superannuation thing was such a dead giveaway that they really let the, as the kids would say, let the mask slip on that one. Holy hell. Anyone that came out against that superannuation reform, liberal in a different hat. Liberal in a different hat. All the media organisations, all the whinge merchants, all the independents in the parliament, all of them. That same pattern that we're talking about now, regurgitating the same arguments, basically with the same visage that they use every time of, we're against this because we want even more tax reform. That's why we're against passing this tax reform. Really? I mean, man, the Teals have really given it away, haven't they? The independents in Parliament really let it slip over the last few months, didn't they? At the beginning, all they had was, and it was truly shameful, getting rid of wage reform, trying to block historic industrial relations reform. We're talking about the transfer of hundreds of billions of dollars. They tried to block that, or at the very least, like David Pocock, they tried to fuck it up, right? That was their first little slip. And it started to be obvious, yeah, these are what they advertise that they are. Who'd have guessed? These are the Liberals. This is just the girl Liberal Party. The next one after that was donation reform. We've done a ton of videos on that. And then the final one was superannuation. All of them. Holy shit. Exposed. Exposed for the dogs you are. How well would have Albo done if he bowled like John Howard? Goose, I'm going to be very serious with you right now. I honestly think that probably would have caught him. Yep. He probably wouldn't. He probably would have won 91 seats instead of 94. That's what I honestly think about that. It's a damn good question. Obviously, the Fish Bass one won. Obviously, that was easily the best one. Sexy American Vice President, Dan Quayle or Spyron Agnew? For the meme, Spyron. And thanks for the $20, man. Yeah, was going to ask on Patreon, then you saw that you were live. Thoughts on Woodside North? Yeah, someone just asked that before. Approved until 2020-70. As a Perthian, I'm concerned. I don't know enough. All I know is it immediately just has all the same alarm bells that the usual Greens campaigns have, which is that it is a complete beat up. It's actually a massive lie, and they've usually maneuvered things parliamentarily in a way to kind of like create this outcome. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so for instance, with salmon farming, that was them putting forward bills saying, you have to retroactively get rid of this environmental approval. Well, what can of worms have you opened up if you retroactively cancel someone's environmental approval? That just means literally every man-made structure in Australia is immediately up for negotiation, you know? And this is what they turned into. They're causing an extinction. They're causing an extinction. They didn't, you know? Like they've changed the legislation so that they have to do... It's the same pattern. But again, I reserve judgment on until I actually look into it. Let's see what else we got. Boy, can I have the video of me asking for your photograph modelling shots at Port Macquarie show, please? Abby. Abby! How you going, Dal? Yes, you can. In fact, thank you very much for asking that. I'll tell you this instead. I'll put it up as a TikTok at some point. I do have it. I haven't gotten around to editing it, but yes, I will just chuck it up on socials and then you could just grab it. That was very sweet of you, Abby. Very, very nice. Honestly, can I just say, Abby, that show was sick. And I think that you got the party going. Yeah, you really helped out. You're a legend. And also, good on you for living in a really good part of the world. The Greens are a little rat shit taken physical form. Yep, that's Woody. Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution. Love your content, big dog. Keep it up. Good for you, XB Chains. Thank you. I came here to goon to you. Goon away. Right here. I read the super bill. The changes are sensible. The biggest gripe I have is the lack of indexation. Everything else seems reasonable. Yeah, but the reason that, Liam, the reason that there is a lack of indexation is because it went to the Senate estimates and they said that there is no need to index it because it affects so few people that there is no need to put any indexation on it. That was the Senate estimates recommendation. Party's Politics keeps going in the Instagram comments. Are you ever going to give him the attention he wants? Who's that again? Oh, yeah. Cancer guy. Does he? Jesus. Fuck. How needy and desperate is that guy? This video's about me, isn't it? Yes, everything's about you. Must be nice after the gang members and anti-terrorism dogs that your new enemies can't beat anxiety or eczema. You're the tough guy now. Luke, that is really fucking funny. I never thought about that before, but you're absolutely right. It must be nice after the gang members and anti-terrorism dogs that your new enemies can't even beat anxiety or eczema. Holy shit. That is so true. Look at them all. They are pale little oysters. I'm tougher than an oyster. Me. As in just physically. Physically, I'm tougher than an oyster. Like little bitches that won't show their face on camera. Holy hell. I'm the lib now. I'm the... What the fuck? Look at us. Fuck. Luke, thank you for that realization. Never thought of it before. Hey, Jordies, what are your thoughts on Lambert's planned tax on unrealized capital gains? Oh. Bonks, my boy. You are giving away the point of the next video, but can I just say, you are a cluey C word. I would call you what you are, which is obviously a cant, but, you know, algorithm gods and whatnot. But I'll just say this. You know your shit. The fact that you even know about Labor's proposed tax on unrealized capital gains shows that you are an OG. Like, just so you know, Bonks, I was talking to my researcher about this. What a sneak attack move. What a sneak attack move. It'll be completely, like is the name would suggest, unrealized. But that is more or less, this is incredible, that is more or less encouraging people with self-managed super funds that usually do have assets like houses in their super funds not to buy houses as a super fund, thus freeing it up for the market. What a move. What a move. And also just starts deflating the pressure of investment in another way on housing. It's very, very good. Very sneaky. I like it a lot. Last one. Thoughts on Victoria Socialists going nationwide. I've infiltrated their party. Don't tell anyone. We'll get in contact with you later. Goose, please do. I think that, you know, the Victorian Socialists, I guess, going nationwide, I think they're going to continue calling themselves the Victorian Socialists. I can't see how that'd fare that well in Queensland. Can you? Yeah, like tell me away. Jordies, you've got to stay gaming. Stop doing 4-hour streams on small fish. Give proper vids on punters, Chatfield, etc. on your channel, please, Stooge. Green Eps. Yeah, look, honestly, I think I think the thing is, what I want to do, because I've just noticed this, these start adding up, you know? And if these people start getting snippy and they start doing these little attack pieces, they do add up. It's exactly what Kevin Rudd was talking about, that every single one of those articles just takes away a coat of paint until they eventually chip away. As in, not everyone believes that particular brand of bullshit, but some people do. And then if you just allow all of these minnows to keep eating away without crushing them like this, which I've got to say, as we just saw with Shane, very fun to do one of these. Very, very, very fun. You got to stop. You got to nip that in the bud. That's what I think. Anyway, just so I can relax for a second, or not relax. I mean, what am I doing at the moment? Just so I can try and find that video in the meantime. Let's just watch this shitty Warhammer thing like someone requested ages ago. Hang on. You happy? You happy? We're going to watch it. What the hell is going on? Oh, shit! What was that all about? I don't... look, again, you have to understand, I don't follow Warhammer. What are they talking about? What are they talking about? I set my VPN to, One second. Yes, sorry. What were we talking about? Let's go. Hey, Jordies, what are your thoughts on cancer? I don't know. People keep talking about this. I have no idea what it is. Odds on the takedown being 4 hours again. What takedown? What the hell are you talking about? Now I've just lost track of the conversation. Pre-election Socialist Party had a kiosk going down in Adelaide. I went over and had a chat to the guy that was their spokesperson. It was really funny how whenever I asked him about the gritty stuff, he just deflected, then left. Yeah, always the case. Always. None of these people ever have any details on anything. It's not about that. It's just about feeling righteous. That's it. Hey, Jordies, love your work. I was wondering if you consider reviewing our anti-Murdoch anthem called No Gods, No Masters. Yes. Yes, I will. I'm happy to do that. Please send. What's your take on Ozpilled, potentially NSN affiliated, using your video clips regarding Dutton and Indian immigration? Again, you are way too deep into the internet for me. You have to understand, these people that I am attacking, I don't watch. I don't. I spend all my time on this channel. I have no idea who these human beings are. Trying to move up with the same... fuck it, trying to come up with something witty here or profound, and I couldn't. I renewed my Labour Party membership just before the election and donated to the war chest to unseat Dutton, as much as I'm donating to you now. Well, thank you very much, Autocrite. That's very good of you. That is very, very damn good of you. Typical Geordies, first no God Emperor Albo memes, now no sound. At least Michael West delivers. What do you mean no sound? What the hell are you talking about? I'm talking, ain't I? What happened to exposing the US government UFO secrets? Well, that's what my show's about, right? Come on, Jack. All right. Anyway, I think it's time to watch Shane. I'll skip like the first 4 minutes of the video because it's just so Jesus. And Shane Dowling, Friendlyjordies. Where is this idiot? It's Fugitive, Shane Dowling here. I think I do a pretty good impression of him, actually. Fugitive, Shane Dowling here. Let's see. Where was the OG? Because it's just nuts. Truly nuts. The other thing is that what he clearly deletes comments, you can tell. There he is. Look at that extremely simple looking dead stare. Holy hell. Man. What an unsightly man. You played Warhammer trailer with no sound. Did I? Oh, so sorry. Well, you can play along at home. Another podcast with Isaac Butterfield when? Well, whenever he wants. Doesn't he live in Texas or some shit now? Thank you very much for that. Terribly sorry about not playing with the word. Now, straight. It's always the same with these people. Names and numbers. What are the lies and propaganda? They just use these buzzwords and then their rabid audience goes, yeah, that's negative, yeah. It's just so hilarious, this man using the word exposed. Especially because, like, you know, I can imagine him in a playground exposing himself. You know, I'm not saying he does. But I'm saying I could imagine. Yes, that's what I've done. This is a really silly... Jordan, read the pinned comment. Jordan, turn on desktop audio. Oh, shit. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Sorry, we'll go back from the beginning.
Friendlyjordies
really haven't
whinge
missed out on
merchants.
much. Sorry,
Rupert
I'm an
Murdoch's
idiot.
News Corp.
I have to do it because I do my Red Thread podcast. I have to turn the desktop audio off. Brother in Christ, your audio is not coming through on the stream. Thank you very much for that mysterious band that put that up there. But yes, the video is way too loud. Turn it down, please. Oh, for Christ's sake. What is wrong with you whinies? I'd do the same thing. So, no audio, no audio, no audio. We fixed that! I think.
Reports news, but they also slip in plenty of propaganda as news when it suits Rupert Murdoch's agenda.
See, it's incredible as well. I just really want to make this point before we continue on. Read the pinned comment. Yes, no. 11% of people just wanted him to... I can't believe it. 11% of people wanted the desktop audio to be off. Oh, hats off to you all. Everyone that voted no, you have a place in my heart. In both referendums. Now, where's data? Get your phone, LMAO. Yep, it's fixed. Okay, good. Let's see if there's anything there. When are you going to debate on 6 News against Droop over the... I told you before, when he loses weight. Brother in Christ, your audio is not coming through. Love your work. I'd ask a question. What would your line in the sand be for Labor? What would you fear them doing that'll tarnish the public opinion? I've never even thought about a line in the sand because this is the whole thing. I think that generally when you're thinking about a party or a political institution, let's just say, it's more just about the trajectory, right? It's not really about a single decision. I mean, obviously there's going to be the, what about if they decided to nuke Perth? And, you know, I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. In fact, I'd want primo seats in the desert to watch it drop. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot. It's not because the Liberal Party has one line in the sand policy that I despise. It's just that they generally are shit cunts, and everything that they do is bad. And it's the same thing with the Greens. Everything that they do is just opportunistic and narcissistic. You know, like there's no intention behind anything that they do that is completely self-serving or serving of business interests. It's endemic throughout the whole thing. It's just really strange thinking about there just being this one moment. I guess, like if you think back to conscription days or something like that, but the Labor Party was against conscription for a foreign war. And I think it's fair enough to have conscription if you're getting invaded. But I'd find a way to dodge the draft. Let's see what else we've got.
Of making money and having power. Given the blow video, Friendlyjordies has clearly decided to use Rupert Murdoch's business model. Jordan spends the first...
Oh, yeah, sorry. That's what I was going to talk about. All right. I just really need to make this point again. There is no differentiation between news and propaganda. That is something that dumbass boomers like that believe because they have been indoctrinated by a specific brand of propaganda that was set up 100 years ago to make that differentiation real. Do you understand what I'm saying? So before, newspapers used to be like I am. Yeah, just out, open, this is who I support, this is why. Then they realize it's actually a lot easier to just dupe people if you just endlessly say, and this is something else that you see with all these whinge merchants, they always have this thing of, no, I'm just the objective truth. I'm the objective truth, holding the powerful to account, basically just regurgitating old propaganda lines from a very long time ago. And the reason they did that is so that they could make themselves out to be the news and any source that they didn't like, propaganda. And so you see this dynamic in this guy's head now. News means good, propaganda means bad. In reality, what they're saying is, this is good propaganda and this is bad propaganda in my head, in my personal subjective mind. $5. As a propaganda enthusiast, a lot of other propagandists just don't entertain or slap as much as you do, Jordies. Thank you. I've got to say, I do think exactly the same. And I'll tell you why. Because the rest of them are shit. I don't even think it's because I'm so great. It's just all the rest of them are profoundly dumb, like this man. This man actually, I think at one point he might have actually been an intelligent man, but something in his old age has caused his brain to cook into a sort of deep fried pineapple fritter to represent the illustrious part of Australia that he's from. What's the official Geordie's opinion on vaping? It's a mad. A good response. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Liam. Yep, there you go. Cheers. Thank you for the extra $2 then.
50 minutes of the video telling lies and deceiving viewers, and then spends the last 2 minutes telling viewers what a hero he is and that they should donate more money because he is a hero. The Whinge Merchant's video was published just before the Queensland state election, which was on the 26th of October 2024. And in the article, I have...
Shane Dowling just represents the news. He puts out things that are factual, but he also puts out propaganda and lies. I mean, the election was on that day.
I didn't even bother to double check that. I just assumed that he's not that stupid that he was going to lie about that. Geordies, how have the Murdoch press not been able to cut through on their smear campaign on Albo, unlike Corbett and Shorten? Because one, the smear campaign, he gave them nothing to work with. That's the first point. For a smear campaign to work, you need to make a misstep that you can really emphasize in on. So, for instance, with Rudd and Gillard, it was just the endless backstabbing, the instability. We have to end the instability. And it's true. Yeah, there was backstabbing and instability in that time. And so that's what they were able to focus and hone in on. And also they did the carbon tax, which Australia hated. And so they were able to narrow in on it. This is the whole thing. You can't. This all goes back to the Walter Lippmann quote, right? Which is just incredible. Walter Lippmann, you got to hand it to him. He was a genius, right? But his whole point that the press is terrible at telling people what to think, but is remarkable at telling them what to think about, right? That's the whole thing. So Albanese doesn't really misstep anything. There's very little decisions that he made in that entire term. I think there might have been the misinformation bill maybe that would have ruffled some feathers. There was the TikTok social media ban, but that was generally very popular amongst the public. There really wasn't anything for him to sink his teeth into in this election. There was really nothing. So with Shorten, for instance, he could hit on housing. He could hit on the numerous tax proposals that he made, and that sunk through. The public didn't like that. So you were just able to endlessly hone in. With Anthony Albanese, tell me what they had. He bought a house. What was the thing that he did that if you really step back and think about it, was truly, truly unpopular in the electorate? What? I can't think of a single thing. The misinformation bill, again, I think was kind of like a niche thing that neckbeards on Reddit were upset about. I mean, again, I don't agree with it, and thank God it's dead. But was there anything? That's a question for you, not for the man that spends his life thinking about these things. Hey, Geordies, our anti-Murdoch anthem is on our page. If you click through, won't be offended if you say save it for a palate cleanser. Okay, so I'm going to look up brand anti-Murdoch anthem. All right, I'll check that out. Thank you, sir. Impersonating Peter Dutton and a lisp equals Friendlyjordies impersonating Shane. Timmy, that's pretty spot on.
My name is Peter Dutton. My name is Shane Dowling. My name is Peter Dutton.
Okay. Give me this. Shane Dowling.
Sounds like he's melting into the ground. It sounds like he's going down like this. Peter Dutton sounds like he's really uptight and constantly like this with his mouth, doing this, and he does this a lot. Peter Dutton.
In Queensland, fuck me.
In Queensland,
bet you that Shane doesn't even know that we dropped this because he's watching the State of Origin at the moment.
The Windsor Merchant video embedded, so you can go to my website and you can watch that, or you can go to Friendly Jordies YouTube channel and watch it. The irony is that Friendly Jordies doesn't stop whinging about the Greens in the...
Explain how Labor's decision on Woodside isn't a complete betrayal of climate targets, Indigenous world history, and Australian youth who will pay. I don't know, because I haven't looked into it. But again, the fact that you're using all of these alarmist terms makes me think that it is exactly the same as what they were saying about Adani, which is exactly what they were saying about the 25 gas and coal projects that are being opened, is exactly the same as what they said about salmon farming. They always just make it sound like it's this doomsday apocalyptic approval, and then you look at it and it's just not true. But again, you could be right. This could be the time that the doomsday cult is right. It could be. Do smear campaigns make you wonder how many politicians have humiliation kinks? I just don't know how they do it. I do not know how politicians do it. Plop. I couldn't do it. As you can see, I will go on a 4-hour tirade about some pissant because they sullied my name. I could not sit there like Kevin Rudd and deal with decades of character assassination at this point. Couldn't do it.
The video, and the obvious reason for that is it was published just before the Queensland election. Labor were worried about losing seats to the Greens. By taking on anyone who is critical of Labor, Friendly Jordies will quickly become known as a Labor Party troll, or Labor Party propagandist, or Labor's own version of Sky News. Labor.
How's that working out for you, Shane? I'd really like to see if anybody who wasn't a complete brain melt like this was convinced by Shane Dowling's incredible expose, where so far we're 3 minutes in and over again all he said is,
it's just propaganda, he lies, he's just pro-Labor things, he's lying about the pro-Labor things, he's just Sky News, he's Rupert Murdoch Sky News.
It's like, dude, God, I really think that that's such a dumb thing to say, because it's like, you're comparing me to a global news empire. One guy with a Twitch stream. Do you think putting the entirety of the construction division of the CFMEU was good? Well, I don't think it was good. I think it was necessary. I think it was unfortunate. I think that you look, judging from personal experience, I can assure you, you do not want organized crime anywhere near the levers of power, especially because that stuff does start to rot. And when it is identified, I think that the ACTU made the right call in saying, we don't want a bar of this. That needs to go into administration immediately. That needs to be isolated before it spreads any further out, especially because you're talking about unions. You're talking about something that would have given Murdoch like a hit piece that would have been very effective in Albo against Albo during the election. Man, imagine if he just sat there and said, yeah, you know, the CFMEU is fine, continue on business as usual. Oh yeah, we'll maybe make some distant court case, maybe 10 years down the line that might get sorted, possibly. Doesn't just get petered out into the court case forever. Holy hell, could you imagine the field day Murdoch would have with that? But on top of that, I just think they're just like, trust me when I say this. I know from personal experience, you do not want organized crime near political institutions. I can speak from experience. Terrible answer. You accuse others of being completely unread and you haven't even looked into it. The decision has been 6 years in the making. Pudmuddle, shut the fuck up. You didn't even know about it until like a week ago when everybody else was talking about it. You're such a dumb fuck. You really are. Like, you don't just get to say terrible answer. This one thing that has been put in front of me by the shitty Facebook pages that are endlessly in front of me. Why don't you look at those same dumb Facebook pages? You did not know that this decision has been 6 years in the making. You've not been following it before this. Don't lie. Anyway, let's go on.
Labor is happy to use misinformation, which they wanted to legislate to stop voters from doing. Some video analysis. Friendly Jordies starts off saying the video is bad tasting medicine that no one is really going to like, but it's only aimed at about 3 dozen people. I would argue the video is aimed at more than 5 million people and is an attempt to silence people from utilising their right to political communication.
Why did you pick 5 million? Why? What? That's not the population of Australia. What number is he using for the 5 million? And this is incredible. Me making a video essentially criticizing slop content creators. This is an attempt to silence and clamp down on... This is incredible, like the epicness that this man has in his own mind. Can you imagine the delusion and narcissism to sit there and think like all of them did? Because like there was specific people in that video that I had in mind. And it was incredible the people that came out of the woodwork. You really saw like the levels of narcissism and delusion in people, because I can tell you right now, everybody that came out with a video just going like, that was about me. It was like, nah, it really wasn't. I wasn't thinking about you, trust me. I mean, you definitely fit into that category, but it wasn't about you. But they, you know, it's just that it's incredible that they have that level of delusion and grandeur about themselves that, oh no, I'm in an epic struggle against free speech and the forces of evil coming against me. Because there was a video that you think was about you. Holy shit, the levels of paranoia. I'm on this, and then deeming this as well. I'm on the side of 5 million people. Why? Top 10 fave policies based on policies and top 10 fave policies based on policies and personality. Jesus Christ, C. Diddy. Now you've opened a can of worms. Look, number one, it's got to be Keating or Lang. I don't know. I'll tell you, if we're just basing it off of personality, you've got to put Trump and Nigel Farage in there. They are the biggest personalities ever. Ever. Actually, you know what? Jack Lang was a pretty damn big personality. He could have beat him. You know, look, you're going to have to separate the list from policies and personality. Personality, I'll give it to you right now, right? It'd be Jack Lang, Paul Keating, you know, Kevin Rudd would actually be up there. Kevin Rudd was a personality. You'd have Bob Carr. Bob Carr was great. You would have Trump. Trump is going to be up there. Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton. You go back and watch Bill Clinton back in the day. God, have you ever seen a more charming man on earth? He was incredible. He had that same thing as Obama, where it was like, I'm smarter than you. And you kind of sat there and you're like, yeah, okay, I get that. But unlike Obama, Obama had this sort of like, I'm smarter than you. And I know it. And I'm also more handsome than you. I am the perfect man. He had that kind of attitude to him. Where Bill Clinton was more, yeah, I am smarter than you, but I still value you. In fact, I'm not going to make you feel like I'm smarter than you. I feel like we are equals. And I'm talking to you as a friend. It could actually just be the Arkansas accent, but the Arkansas accent is so charming. With the sound issues fixed, any changes to the election review after the LibNat kiss and make up today? No. In fact, we're coming out with other ones. No, there isn't any changes to the election review that's coming out, because it pretty much just says exactly the same thing, which is that there is clearly very deep divisions and rifts, and that is perfect example of that. You know, the National Party leader could be toppled for all we know at this point as a result. I honestly think the only reason that they came back together was because this was really what... Holy shit. I think that the reason that they came back together, obviously, is because there are external forces to the coalition that were just like, what the hell are you doing? Get back together now. And you can see that from the lobbying that was happening behind closed doors with Barnaby and the likes. We have another King of the Hill character. He sounds exactly like Bill Dauterive. Have some pedo fee. Okay, thank you, Richard. Hang on, let me just sound that. Bill Dauterive. My name is Bill Dauterive. I just want to hear, there is, man, you know what? Dude, you make incredible calls. Incredible calls. Yeah, your last one. of just like, you know, like Beta Boomhauer for Max Chandler Mather. Gold. Let me see.
My name is Bill Dotrieve.
Everyone thinks you're pie.
Man, King of the Hill, I'm calling it now. What do you reckon? Start a poll. I'll start one. Well, I don't know how to start one. I'm too stupid. Engage with your audience. Is that one? Yeah, start a poll. Okay, all right, all right. Let's start this tier list right now. King of the Hill or Futurama? Which one? Which one? Which one do you reckon? King of the Hill or Futurama? Let's go. Oh, wait. Wait. It's a yes-no thing. Sorry, I'm such a dumb shit. Hang on. Let me try that again. Let me try that again. I honestly think it was. Like, I do really like Futurama, right? I like it. It's great. But man, King of the Hill had some classics. I remember, you know what? Honestly, this is something that I'll just admit to you guys. When I was in hiding and I was legitimately scared for my life, you know what actually did temper that a lot? King of the Hill. King of the Hill. I just went on marathons of watching it and all my problems floated away. Andrew Fisher, best moustache, hands down. Super late to this, but glad you have done my part in kicking Dutton out and getting Ali France in, especially after the hardships that she's endured. X-Hog, give it to you. That's sick. On behalf of psychotic transgender hackers across Australia, thank you for your service. Okay, thank you, Lexi Cat. We have another King of the Hill. Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, Richard. Yeah, now, let's listen to this, and then we will see if he sounds like it.
Parties too, Bobby.
I'm having fun. Your wife divorced you. I don't know. My daddy spanked me every day from when I was 9 till I was 16, and that turned out okay. Bastard.
Uptown girl, you know she's living in her uptown world.
And when she's walking, she's looking so fine. How come they get to be married when I never do? Why do they get to be so happy? It's not fair. It's not fair. It's a fake. It's all a fake. I'm not a minister. Dale used a self-playing piano. It's all a great big fake is what it is. Eggy's gonna win. She's every man's fantasy.
Okay, Bill, I'll take over from here.
I mean, she's got an A+ brain and an A- body, but if she wears one of them push-up brassieres,
Bill!
she'll have a body that just won't quit.
Jesus! See, man, there was an element of it. Hang on, let me see. Ah, screw you guys! Oh, what it's gaining! Look, I will say that a blowout of somewhere around the area of 20% is not great to my theory. Nonetheless. You guys just don't remember it because you didn't have Super Simpsons Sundays or whatever it was called. Let me just continue on. Jordan Goldman loves you, mate. Thank you very much. Wear that with pride.
Friendlyjordies talks about the 3 dozen YouTubers feeding their audience what they want, and that is exactly what Friendlyjordies is doing in the video with his lies and propaganda for the Labor Party.
Mm-hmm. You said that 1,000 times. Yes, it's all lies. What lies? What lies, you dumbass? Like, fuck, he's rambling for 4 minutes. It's incredible. It's like he's made a YouTube video that is a stream. What? No wonder it doesn't get traction. Christ. It's right what he said. It's just like, if Bill Dotrieve had serious brain injury, so he talked like this for the rest of his life, and that's his channel. And he's a dumb boomer. You can just tell, this is really interesting because my friend Mislav, he goes through life, he is a Labrador. He goes through life on vibes. He is able to read the vibe perfectly. When I showed him that video, he goes, that guy. And I said, what, you've come across him before? And he said, I did, but I just looked at the background. I looked at the background of this man's house, which if we can just find any one of the other ones. One sec, I'm going to find this. If you just look, hang on.
Shane Dowling can do this.
G'day, it's Shane Dowling here from kangaroocourtofaustralia.com.
Now, if we just look at this. No, the sound isn't dead. I just muted it because I don't want you to pay attention to his annoying... screw it. It's just ASMR. Like, you can't pay attention to it anyway.
To make up their own mind.
But look, don't you think?
But he
it's
didn't
absolutely
do that.
right.
He
Like,
didn't even
look
name
at
a
this.
website.
Look at
And another
this.
thing he didn't do is reference 2 articles I'd written about media watching.
He looked at that. He looked at that background and he was just like, you would have to be fucking insane to make that your background. It's incredible. He said that before I even led the witness. I just said, look, he's made this video. And then he goes, oh, that guy. Yeah, no, Jesus. Hey, Geordie, do you know Alan Watts? He's pretty much makes Eastern philosophy more comprehensive for Western audiences. He's one of my favorite self-help dudes, and I reckon you'd like his work too. Oh, yeah, no. I'm well aware of the works of Mr. Watts. Well done. I'm glad that you're into him. That's sick. Very happy to hear it.
Mr. Barry in the last 12 months. So let's have a look at those 2 articles he failed to reference, because if you read those 2 articles, you get to...
He needs a live, laugh, love sign in the background. Don't you think the beach house thing is just it's a fucked substitute, isn't it? It's a really fucked substitute. Okay, so the final results were, screw you. King of the Hill better than Futurama, 60% no. Well, at least it had good participation. That's
great
something to be proud
record.
of.
Geordies wouldn't have
Democracy is smoking.
needed to spend half the video attacking the Greens. Friendly Geordies attacks the 3 dozen for saying and have needed to spend half the what they want, and that is exactly what Friendly Geordies is doing in the video with his lies and propaganda for the Labor Party. If the Labor Party had such a great record, Geordies wouldn't have needed to spend half the video attacking the Greens.
There we go. First claim. So when it goes into all of this, it's all just exaggeration. Half of the video was not about attacking the Greens. Half of the video was, more than half of the video, was defending Labor's legacy and saying that idiots like you just sitting there and saying, they're corrupt. Why? Because they're in power, so they're corrupt. Is stupid. And he won't be able to defend any of those points. What's the bet? Let's see.
Friendly Geordies attacks the 3 dozen for saying both major parties are corrupt. And he used a picture of Kathy Jackson later in the video, as per in the article, showing how Labor put a corrupt union into administration in 2012. That'd have to be the own goal of the century. And
Holy shit, you're stupid. He's so dumb. A huge part of that video, in fact, I would say getting close to half of the video if you were just going to like grossly exaggerate. A big part of that video was pointing out that the Labor Party put the CFMEU into administration and that the entire narrative of your Greens types and your whinge merchants and all of that was that the Labor Party's corrupt and the Labor Party made this bullshit NACC, which is not true at all. And the reason for that is that no one's getting caught. No one's getting caught. So therefore it must be true. Good, true flying spaghetti monster shit, right? Like, because no one has been caught being corrupt in the Labor Party, they must be corrupt. That's the only possible explanation. It couldn't be that they just aren't corrupt. No, it's that they couldn't. Which again, if we go back and you look at the scandals of the Albanese administration, what has there been? He tried to buy a house legally. That was the big corruption scandal. He tried to buy a house. You compare that to the 10 years of the Liberals, and look, we've done it 1,000 times. Anyway, they see that as, well, they're just hiding their corruption. That's the reason why. That's the way that these assholes interpret it every time, right? So anyway, I was just pointing out, well, CFMEU is one of Labor's biggest donors. You are constantly sitting there talking about donors having all of this unfair advantage over like doing backroom deals and shit like that. That CFMEU is one of the biggest donors to the Labor Party, and they had no problem at all putting them under administration because there was clear evidence of corruption and organized crime that had infiltrated it, and they put it into administration. That was what I was explaining there. And then he says, Sydney is West Germany, Melbourne is East Germany, no more millennial comedian observations needed. Fuck yeah, Yates. And also on top of that, Yates, can I just say, very good observation that is a millennial comedic observation.
Article showing how Labor put a corrupt union in saying both major parties are corrupt. And he used a picture of Kathy Jackson later in the video, as per in the article, showing how Labor put a corrupt union into administration in 2012.
He's so stupid. He is so fucking dumb. What a mush brain. That enforces my point, you dimwit. Like, you're talking about a video that you just saw, and he ignored. This is incredible. This is how screwed up this man's mind is. That point that I explained to you, in fact, I think that there's like a very good little short of it that we did. I'll try and find that. You like it because it's you know, Warhammer adjacent. Let's see. But anyway, the point is, you know, my point is not that there is never any corruption in the Labor Party. Like, what a nitwit. Who the hell would think that? Honestly, it's just like, it is a government organization. There is always going to be some degree of corruption. It will be fucking minuscule in comparison to, say, Pakistan or something like that. And you guys like to fantasize that we live in Pakistan and that the entire political structure is just based off of bribes and all this bullshit. But, dude, my point in it is that it is minuscule in comparison to the Liberal Party. Minuscule. Not even comparable in the same universe. We're talking about the planet Jupiter versus a mouse. That's the levels we're talking about here. And when they find the mouse, they stamp it out. That's the difference between these two major parties. When there is corruption found, whether it be in the union movement or its representative in Parliament, the Labor Party has a strong, proud history that I pointed to over and over again in that video of the Labor Party going out of their way in ways that politically disadvantage them to stamp it out. To stamp it out. And this idiot shows another example of the Labor Party putting another union that was found of corruption in administration, and he thinks that that's a mad W against the point. Like, and this is the whole thing. That bozo, that point that I was talking about, that was like a very large chunk of that video. And he ignores all of that and then looks at a article that I put up and then just goes like, yeah, you really aren't. Yeah, you aren't. What the fuck is wrong with this man's mind? Friendlyjordies is culprit. Friendlyjordies is culprit. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now, let me just try and find shorts. Where the fuck is it? Ah, there we go. Look, pretty much just explain the point in this short again. Just to explain why to their chronically online voters, I'll use the only political framework they have to understand the world in, Warhammer 40k. When organised crime infiltrates the orbit of a political organisation, it's like when there is a chaos incursion in the Imperium of Man. to rid the realm of the... I can't believe it's actually called this in 40k. How amazing is this coincidence? Chaos, corruption. One must practice exterminatus. Now, Redditors watching this are obviously thinking, yeah, Labour are the dirty imperium of men. The Greens are the Tau. No, the ACTU are the Tau. The Greens are the Tyranids. And Reddit are the Gene Stealer cult. These dumb psychos thinking that they're on the side of God by spreading the indoctrination to allow the Xeno to incubate. The vast majority of the union movement supported putting the CFMEU into administration for the greater good. They get it's bad that a bunch of CFMEU delegates were sacked that are probably innocent because it's the only way to be sure. It's not fair, but what is in the grim dark universe? To explain why to their chronically online voters, like, I'll use the exact point, and then this idiot is like...
For saying both major parties are corrupt. And he used a picture of Kathy Jackson later in the video, as per in the article, showing how Labor put a corrupt union into administration in 2012. That'd have to be the own goal of the century, and shows how dishonest and dodgy Jordan Shankston is.
Oh, Shane, you really are a piece of crap.
Friendlyjordies crew are. Bill Shorten's crime gang have been hit with civil charges.
This is the other thing. This is incredible. The HSU was put under administration by Bill Shorten, if I'm not correct. I'm pretty sure I'm correct on that. This guy is accusing Bill Shorten of running a crime gang. You see the kind of dipshit that has to like watch this man and be like, finally, the news that I can trust. There is no way, Shane, just so you know, nobody that is watching you is absorbing anything that you say. Nothing that you are saying is sticking in their minds. They don't have minds. You don't have a mind, right? It is just you put out this general vibe of just being a rabid dog that is very old and is about to die. And so it's kind of going, and that's all they're hearing. And they're just people that like that sound. It's soothing to them. You're essentially ASMR to that person to sit there.
Everyone is corrupt. Yeah, everyone sucks. Thank you for eliminating the truth, Shane.
It'd be incredible to see who actually is a fan of Shane Dowling. It really would be. Do you think Labor can try and bring the ETS back, or has it been settled? Josh, probably not, mate. Probably not. But, you know, there are other ways to curb emissions, and those are being implemented as we speak. Now we'll continue on, shall we?
By the Fair Work Commission for stealing from the HWU, which is a branch of the HSU, Health Services Union, in August this year, and will likely face criminal charges over a $2.7 million ghost printing scheme. Money that was stolen from a branch of the same union, HSU, that Bill Shorten put into administration in 2012. And I've reported...
Yeah, he admits it. So this idiot is saying that this is like Bill Shorten's crime gang. What the fuck are you talking about? Holy shit. Trustable source of news. The Fugitive on the run. It's incredible that that guy is just like, this guy sitting there saying that all I ever do is toot my own horn. He starts every single video with his dumb list. He keeps giving props to himself, essentially for going into a federal court, I think it was, and then just middle fingering everyone in there, saying, you're corrupt, fascist, and then just went to the Gold Coast to live for the rest of his life amongst these statues of galahs.
I'm a fugitive. I'm fighting a good fight.
You're an idiot.
Put it on the fraud.
And don't you think that, honestly, this whole thing of, if I went to New South Wales, I'd get arrested? Doubt it, dude. I don't think anyone really gives a shit about you. Any chance that we would get those fiber cables that Big Kev Rudd wanted, or is it still too late? I think they are rolling those out, aren't they? Is that what the new policy is? I'll have to double check that. But yes, I think that that is it, that they are just rerouting the entire NBN. It's just, oh my God, the waste. And I don't even care about the money. I care about the time. It's such a good opportunity. Anyway.
And theft since 2016. But Friendlyjordies makes no mention of the recent charges in his video. Friendlyjordies uses former Queensland Premier Joe Bjelke-Petersen to prove coalition corruption. Why? He hasn't been Premier since 1987.
Let's just play that again.
Of the recent charges in his video.
Look, I'll look into it. How does that sound? The vape ban gave me the shits. On the plus side, it gave me the motivation to learn the power of electronics theory so I could build my own vape from scratch because Labour can't tell me to take care of my health, Spence. That's hilarious. Spencer, thank you for alerting me to this. That is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. Can we all just give a round of applause to Spencer for doing that? Take that, you.
Friendlyjordies uses former Queensland Premier Joe Bjelke-Petersen to prove coalition corruption. Why? He hasn't been Premier since 1987.
What do you mean, why, dipshit? It was explained in the video why. The reason why was because I was sitting there and saying, morons like you that can't differentiate the difference between the two major parties and say, oh, they're all corrupt. Here's my dumbass conspiracies that are immediately pulled apart by anybody that has the capacity to read and understand the words that they're reading, unlike you, Shane. Thailand levels of corruption is possible in this country. That's why I'm bringing up Sir Joe. That's why I'm sitting there and saying, if you just sit there and pretend endlessly that we live in this corrupt nightmare hellscape, which we don't, we absolutely fundamentally do not. Australia is a far more modern, far more efficient, far more, transparent nation under the Labor Party. Always is. They are always the ones that bring through all the reform. That was the point of that, you idiot. It's incredible. Not only does this man not understand what he's reading, he doesn't understand what he's hearing. It just doesn't. It brings up Joe Bjelke-Petersen. Why? Why? It's in the video. It's in the video, numbnuts. Watch the video. Listen. Are you capable of doing that? Why would you bring that up? Seriously, it angers me to no end when someone does one of these hit pieces and they really prove that they are not capable of comprehending basic sentences. This is who you're competing against. These are the people that are informing the public. These are the truth tellers. These are those that are holding those to account. Someone who seriously sits there and says, I am holding this corrupt Labor-paid shill to account for his obvious propaganda, doesn't understand basic points in the video. Why'd he bring him up? Hey, somebody just gave me a dancing sumo. Thank you, Veronica. That's very sweet. Jordan, sorry this took me so long to recall, but I did a Senilink claims and I did a Shane video a few years back. Legit, the tales I need to tell you. And I did Shane's a few years back. But I did Senilink claims and I did Shane's a few years. No, you did not. Sorry, I don't know why it took me so long to read. I'm just sitting there saying, like, you can't read for shit. You know what it is? It's moving from one screen to the next. It kind of makes your eyes go all fuzzy. Or maybe I'm just getting old. Hang on. Is that true? Oh, Green Nipples, if that's true, please send it through. Please send it through. Why didn't you put that in our government services video? Or the Centrelink one. It would have been hilarious. Oh my God. Green Nipples, I can't believe that that's your job. Holy fuck, you must have stories on everyone. I'd imagine there's a lot of celebrities on the dole in the Gold Coast, right? Because that's where you go when your neighbour's contract expired. Have a few bucks to promote Labour's lies and propaganda. Thank you, Sebastian. I will do that.
Friendlyjordies then rants about how Labor saved the day in Queensland and how great former Premier Wayne Goss was.
Yeah, but see, isn't this incredible that he is just posing? It really just shows what a dumb, ungrateful, stupid piece of shit Shane is. Like, Shane, you're a fugitive journalist to Queensland, yeah? Do you think that you would be a fugitive journalist in Queensland under Joe Bjelke-Petersen's Queensland? You wouldn't be living where you are if it wasn't for the guy that you're sitting there and go, he goes on and on about how great he is. This is a great journalist, by the way, according to his own fuckhead. This guy is an incredible journalist, cannot relay any points at all. He hears somebody pointing out historical fact, which is that Wayne Goss made Labor, brought it out of the shit that it was under Joe Bjelke-Petersen's Queensland. That guy did that. But through all the examples of it. And then he just goes, that's just your range. He's going on and on, isn't he? He's saying, this is incredible. It's that same thing that I'm talking about before. As soon as you say someone has done something good in public life, you get assholes like this that will not acknowledge it. That will just say, oh, whatever. So that was ages ago.
That was ages ago. Shut up. That was ages ago.
It doesn't matter that it's ages ago. The Magna Carta was ages ago. It has ramifications to this day, you fucking moron.
Why doesn't Geordies use a current Labor Premier as an example of how great Labor are, or at least one who was Premier this century?
But there was Shane. Shane. Here we go again. It's yet another person on YouTube that when they don't have a response to you saying something, they just imagine that you never said it. They all do this. They all do it. They all just say, Friendlyjordies says this. No, I said the exact opposite of that.
You're corrupt. You're a part of the Labor charge. You're their mouthpiece.
They really never have anything that they can substantively hit me on, ever. Isn't this incredible? Let's just listen to that claim again.
Geordies use a current Labor Premier as an example of how great former Premier Wayne Goss was. Why doesn't Geordies use a current Labor Premier as an example of how great Labor are, or at least
Hang on.
one who was Premier this century?
Did exactly what you said. I used a Premier of this century to illustrate how great Labor are. A big portion of that video, again, was Anastasia Palaszczuk's government getting back like a bunch of, getting basically another Fitzgerald inquiry, another Fitzgerald report essentially done by the man himself. I think it was something like 32 recommendations, if I can remember correctly, but pretty much just added a bunch of new transparency laws into Queensland, got the old guy back and said, how do we make it more transparent again? How do we make government even more transparent? He said, here's all the recommendations. Labor implemented all of them. Again, that was a big part of the video. Again, he just
Why doesn't he just pick a Premier from this century?
You know, just because I don't know what happens in your head. It's just kind of like you tune out and then that's all that happened that whole time. He was just watching it, not listening to a single thing, heard Wayne Goss, is like, shut up. And then he saw an article from the HSU and he goes,
HSU? That's Bill Shorten's crime gang, even though he's the one that put him under administration. Got you now. You put up an article that
proved my point, not yours. And then he just says, why didn't he put up a Labor Premier of this century? It's incredible. This is phenomenal. This is the level of intellect that you're arguing with. It's a 2-year-old. It's you just shat on the floor. No, I didn't. The shit's right there. No, I didn't shit on the floor. What?
Friendlyjordies would not have a clue about Queensland politics in the 1980s and 1990s, and half the video would have been 80s and 1990s as an example of how great Labor would not have a clue about who was Premier this century. Friendlyjordies would not have a clue about Queensland politics in the 1980s and 1990s.
Why? Because you were born then? You don't seem to remember a video that you just watched, Shane. It doesn't seem like you had much of a clue. You can't just claim, oh, I was alive then. How would you possibly be able to know about things in the past? It's not like we have some system that writes down and records past events known as words. Holy shit. When are you going to bring back the UFO show back to Canberra? Oh, you want to come see it again, do you, Gavin? I will be putting it back. Also, will you ever do the Bros show again? Missed it due to threatened species monitoring. Nah, that is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You're lucky that I ever put it out then. Missed it due to threatened species monitoring. Gavin, you should be very proud of yourself. That's a very good excuse to miss it. Very good excuse indeed. Well done, my boy.
And half the video would have been scripted by Geordie's mate, Kevin Rudd.
Here we go. The classic OG Bagger. Yes.
In the video, Geordie's
Yes.
even says he has spoken to people off the record who know about Queensland corruption under Joe. And later
And so
he
it
says
must
in the
have
video,
been Kevin Rudd.
Rudd remembers the dark days of Queensland well.
That's incredible. Like, what a jump there. I've talking to people in Queensland who remember the dark days of Joe Bioki Peterson. Kevin Rudd's in Queensland, it was him. Yes, he's the only person I know in Queensland, or have the phone number of, Shane.
Friendlyjordies has done numerous interviews with former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd, including one 4 years ago, as per the screenshot on your screen now. Every time Kevin Rudd does a video for Friendlyjordies, I would suspect his donations would go up from hardcore Labor supporters.
But you don't have any proof. And what the fuck? Why does that even matter if it goes up? Why is that an expose? Damn. This is what he's got so far. Why didn't you do the thing that was exactly in that video, huh? You interviewed Kevin Rudd, therefore this is what he's saying. You have interviewed Kevin Rudd at some point in your life, therefore Kevin Rudd wrote this specific script. Nah, I've changed my mind. I thought that no one could ever beat Gary Awesome. We have a new winner. This guy is so much worse.
Does Geordie know Kevin Rudd remembers the dark days
you know,
of
I mean, worse in the same context that The Room is bad. You know, it's so bad it's good.
Queensland well, because Kevin Rudd helped script the video, of course.
Yes, of course.
Friendlyjordies has to look back.
Of course he did.
Back 40 years in Queensland for his examples. Why? Because New South Wales Labor.
Why? No, no, not because of your stupid conspiracy theory. I'm just going to foreshadow this with the reason that I chose Queensland in the 80s. It is because there has never been an example in Australian history of worse, more systematic rank rot than Queensland in the 80s. Nothing comes close. Nothing, I hope, will never come close to that. That was the worst of the worst. That's why I chose it. Just because you go, why? Again, another 2-year-old tactic. It's incredible the level of like argumentative skills that he has in his head. It's that thing of like, yeah, there's a cloud out there. Why? Because there's clouds. Why? Because they suck up moisture. Why? Because they do.
Are rotten to the core and have been for a long time. Geordie tries to skip because New South Wales Labor are rotten to the core and have been for a long time.
Yes, of course. Why? Because Shane says that they are. That's why. Why are they rotten to the core, Shane? What proof have you got? What fucking proof have you got? This is unbelievable. Also, it's just homeboy, stay the fuck away from my state, okay? You stay over in Queensland as the quote-unquote, refugee that you are. Don't talk to me about New South Wales politics, buddy. You don't know, okay? This is something where I'm going to just flip the tables entirely on you. And you know why I'm able to do this? Because I have a functioning brain. I was there. I know what corruption looks like. And the reason that I chose Queensland corruption, again, is because I have a brain. And that is even worse than the corruption that was experienced here. By a mile.
Geordie tries to skim over New South Wales Labor in the video with lies.
How? What lies? Well, how did I skim over it? What were the lies?
Federal Senator David Pocock is one of the best
There we go. There we go. There we go. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No claim. Just you're a liar. Lies.
Skim over New South Wales Labor in the video with lies. Federal Senator David Pocock is one of the best anti-corruption politicians in Canberra.
Just brings up David Pocock out of fucking nowhere. What has he got to do with New South Wales politics? He just moves on to that because he's butthurt. This is the other thing that's incredible about all these assholes. Like, they always just sit there and say, oh, why don't you just objective? Why don't you just shit on everyone? And then you shit on everyone. You shit on a politician that they don't like. And look at how fucking butthurt he gets. Look at how butthurt he gets.
Canberra. And in the video, Friendlyjordies has a swipe at him, not for anything he has said, but because he is a former rugby union player. It is a
That's it. This is like, and the reason that he empathizes with David Pocock is because he has about the same level of brain function as that man does from crashing into other thick brick men for 10 years of his life. That's why he likes it. It's honestly incredible. Why? You didn't even do anything he likes. I'll tell you why I put in David Pocock. I think this is the reason why. Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch it. But the only thing that I was pointing out is that guy is endlessly paraded as a darling. This is the same guy that is trying to block the superannuation reforms, by the way. This is this new way of politics, which is just every single time liberal in another disguise, right? Was the guy that tried to fuck up the massive, highly important, historical, probably the most important thing that the Albanese government did in the last term, which was give back hundreds of billions of dollars of stolen wages and casualized work and, you know, loopholes to not pay your staff properly. That was what Labor was doing. David Pocock deliberately tried to fuck that up, right? And this is the guy that he just sits there and goes, oh, you're just going after my saint. How dare you go after my saint? He's perfect, right? So far, he's laid nothing on the Labor Party, nothing. His basic only complaint so far over the Labor Party, we're now 7 minutes in as he's trying to prove and debunk that the Labor Party is corrupt. So far, his only mentioning is that I should have used New South Wales Labor as an example, as opposed to, Queensland in the 80s. That's it. That's all he has. Really appreciate your content as an immigrant from America that moved to be with my partner. Damn, Sam. Good boy. It's been super educational to learn about this political space here in Australia. Suck it, Shane. Sam, you've made me a very happy man. Thank you very much. Love how the guy claiming to be a refugee is proclaiming expertise on crime and corruption over the guy who had to go into hiding after getting bombed. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for the €5. That's very nice. Spencer Howard, beeps aside, even the few bad policies from Labor are mostly a necessary evil on an issue of an underlying modelling relying on assumptions that aren't always accurate, not corruption or malice. Exactly. Exactly. It's just like, this is how these people think. I don't like this policy, therefore it's corruption. But he hasn't even really pointed to anything that is a policy yet. He's just pointed to, you are not feeding my vibe that they're corrupt. That's all he's got.
Pathetic attack and achieves nothing but undermines Friendlyjordies' credibility.
See, look at how much he goes into bat for a liberal light. He goes in and bats for a liberal light. Why? Because he likes the branding. He doesn't give out any examples of him fighting corruption, gives out no examples of it, and says, he did it, he's the greatest, so, and he's good at footy, and he's really good at footy. Don't go after my man crush, David Pocock. It's incredible. These same people that are constantly sitting there, yeah, all politicians suck. You've got to hold them accountable. And then you go after a politician that they like, and then they turn into these quivering fanboy pieces of shit on the ground, throwing a tantrum, pissing their pants. It's pathetic.
Defending the National Anti-Corruption Commission. Friendlyjordies defends Labor because they set up the NACC. But Jordies uses quotes from barrister Jeffrey Watson taken out of context to support the...
Why were they taken out of context? Go on, hang on. Let's just go. What? Because I didn't post the entire essay and read out the entire fucking, 6-hour transcript that he did? Is that why they're taken out of context? Let's hear him.
The NACC, and Geordie barely mentions the Robodebt scandal. Quotes from barrister Jeffrey Watson taken out of context.
You're such a dumb shit. You are such a dumb shit. Again, his brain just turns off as soon as he doesn't want to hear something that he heard otherwise. Holy fuck. Jeffrey Watson, specifically, I used a very long clip of his on the ABC where he was talking about how awesome it is that the NACC has been set up. This is a huge step forward for progress. Then I also use an example of him criticising, and I can't remember now, I'm going to have to go back and watch it, but I think he was criticising the fact that they weren't going to look into robo-debt at the time. They now are looking into robo-debt. How is this getting taken out of context? I'm showing that he was like, the NACC is awesome and it's set up, and then I showed him criticising something that he thinks the NACC should have done. Do you want to give any examples of how it's taken out of context? It's again, the same thing with these people, just buzzwords, endless buzzwords, no examples. They can't use examples because they immediately crumble. Pocock, more like poofcock, drunkenly said, doom the pub, first champagne ushered away. Gavin, you did not say that to him. Pocock, more like poofcock. Hey, fuck you, Pocock. That's hilarious. Hey, Jordan, long-time viewer, love your work. Why are the Nats pushing supermarket divestiture? Seems odd for the coalition. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to have to see what's going on in that. No idea. Domino's or Pizza Hut? Yeah, Domino's is the winner. It just is, isn't it? Yeah, all right.
We'll continue on with Shane Dowling's incredible discoveries.
To support the NACC, and Geordie barely mentions the Robodebt scandal. This
is incredible. half the video is about the greens. Oh, he actually mentioned something that I want him to mention. It's only this much. And I explained it in far more detail than you did there. You just mentioned the word robo-debt scandal. He's got no argument as to how I was wrong on any of it, by the way. Observe that.
Jordy's video was published before NACC Commissioner Paul Brereton was found to have engaged
Oh, wait, sorry. Yes, he does. Here we go.
Published before NACC Commissioner Paul Brereton was found to have engaged in officer misconduct. 90% of Australia would say Brereton has to go. I wonder what spin Jordies would put on it now.
Well, first off, look, I can't remember because that was ages ago. I could go and look at the articles again to refresh my memory. I'm not going to trust anything that Shane Dowling says about any news story ever, seeing as he just turns on a dime and just invents entire realities. He's truly delusional, truly an insane man. It's really weird. It's like normally if you're insane, you sit around in the street, you know, rubbing yourself with feces, just being like, there's alien people under the ground. I've seen them. I've seen the alien people. But he's that to news articles. He sits there and reimagines and resorts news articles in his head. But yes, I remember that there was some scandal with him. I can't remember the exact details of it. I would have to go back and look at it. And here's my answer to that. The fact that that was even exposed shows that the NACC is working, you idiot. It shows that the institution is working. If he's just sitting there just at the top being like, no, it's all good. Everything's all fine. Don't worry about it. Like John Barilaro was for years. That's not a system that is working properly. A system that is working properly is one where it's like, okay, you drop the ball here. You have to expel yourself. Or if that's not what's needed in the situation, kind of just like, you know, straighten up and fly right or whatever the hell it is. But the fact that that even is something that is like on the table as a result of this institution, what are you complaining about? You're just complaining because you, like, he just, again, has the vibe. It's incredible. Corruption. We need an anti-corruption commission. Okay, he set up an anti-corruption commission. The corruption commission's corrupt. Why? Because it has to be something corrupt, otherwise I'd lose my mind. This guy's lame. You know what isn't lame? Trench Crusade is a tabletop war game that takes place at an alternate history Earth where hell invades Earth during the First Crusade. It has an Islam faction. The Fat Man? I didn't know he was alive. I thought that the Fat Man would have died of diabetes long ago, but here we are. Hang on, let me just look this up. All right, we will do this as a quick little palate cleanser, shall we? Trench Crusade. All right, I'm just going to look at the artwork. Look, these are like 30-minute explainers. Yay! Have
just
it your
results in a
way.
minor hit with standard armor. 12 inches of an
Come on, man. Come on. Let's be real about this. This is lame.
enemy. He is forced to charge the closest enemy, and he goes into the mech infantry. And he should roll up for +1 dice here in melee. We did miss.
Wait a second, hang on. Is this the First Crusade? Why do they have guns?
And counted this as a miss. The Observer then seizes an opportunity to charge into the
Damn, dude, he's even got the Observer has the... He talks like that.
Hell Knight.
Level 4+ Knight.
The Observer is still at plus dice despite parry, and he lands
As
a
an
hit on
ACT
the
resident, at least Pocock
The injury
is better
roll
than
at minus
said, Zed Sigilla. Yeah, but that is all you can ever say about these lib lights, which, fine, it's a valid point. It's absolutely a valid point. And as I've said 1,000 times before, if it was my choice between a teal and a liberal, I would vote for the teal, but I'm not happy about this. I'm really not happy about it, you know? It's not something to write home about. It's not something to just venerate into legendary status while he sits there and just goes like, he goes on and on about Wayne Goss. The whole point of me bringing up David Pocock in that was I was saying Wayne Goss should be venerated as a fucking national hero. David Pocock instead is venerated as a national hero. From the best of my ability, I think it's just the fact that he played footy once. I think that's why, you know? Like, David Pocock does not, you can look at him struggling to say basic human sentences, much like our hero here. That man is no genius. That man would not be able to do what Wayne Goss did. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that you have people in public life like Wayne Goss that are willing to sacrifice huge portions of their life for very little money, do very dangerous work, face huge amounts of blowback as a result of doing that, to make the world a better place, that should be venerated. And instead you've got people like him going, that happened ages ago, stop going on about it. Talk about something else that happened ages ago, which was corruption under New South Wales under the Eddie O.B. days, which was, what, 20 years ago at this point?
Why? Why is he bringing it up?
Jordies defends the NACC secret hearings, but not even his hero, Barrister Jeffrey Watson, supports the secret hearings.
Yeah? What's your point? What the fuck is your point? You don't give out my reasons for defending it. You just say that Jeffrey Watson doesn't want to have them, which, yes, if you are looking at it purely from the paradigm of what would be a better NACC, that would be it. But you also have to make considerations for the fact that there are politicians that will go up and face scrutiny there. Like that, could you imagine what would have happened to Daniel Andrews if he had to face that same level of scrutiny with open hearings in Victoria? Could you imagine? Could you imagine the level of fucking complete and utter character smear that would have happened? It would have been nuts. I know from personal experience what it's like. I know from personal experience what that's like. My character has been irreparably damaged. You know, to this day, there are people that still come out and they're just like, oh yeah, I watch Friendlyjordies, and they go, ooh, isn't he that racist? Isn't he the racist that happened there? Like, why is that? It's because of that court case and the endless printing out that happened as a result of that. It's not true. I mean, you know, obviously I'm a massive racist. Yes, secretly I'm a Klansman. In my instance it is. But in Daniel Andrews, you know?
In fact, Jordies is about the only journalist or commentator that supports the secret hearings, yet he is happy to use the evidence from the public corruption hearing by the New South Wales ICAC into former New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian in his video. Other claims by Jordies.
You know what's incredible as well? Probably that would have hit the threshold. If, like, Gladys Berejiklian was getting tried and she was a federal politician and it was in the NACC, that probably would have hit the threshold for public exposés anyway. But on top of that, you really haven't articulated my argument at all. I just did beforehand. I could just repeat it again, but there's no point with this guy because, you know, I've now done it twice. He's not going to fucking listen. My sister's a government advisor trying to stop gambling. It's fucked how people don't know how good bureaucracy works. And now we have the Nats. Of course they are destroying her department. Morbids on New Zealand. See, there you go. Marlo, that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. And this is exactly it. You have all of these public servants, by and large, doing the right thing, getting on with the job, making your life unimaginably better. What do you get? These guys here peddling conspiracy theories. Oh, you can't see inside it, therefore it's corrupt.
Jordies in the video are: 1. He claims Labor is doing well, I assume at the federal level. 2. Jordies puts the Liberals above the Greens. Why? The Greens have never had power federally.
Why? When did that happen? What are you even talking about? He puts Liberals above the Greens. Why? As a Patreon supporter, I know your patrons didn't vote for it, but do an Oz Civics crash course video anyway. Ooh. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Thank you very much for the $10. Sorry, your name is...
Or in any state government. 3. Jordy says, why? The Greens have never had power federally or in any state government.
They have had power federally, idiot.
3. Jordy says...
And they have had power in state governments. Well, Tasmania's not a state.
We have a zero tolerance policy to corruption in the Labor movement. So he admits he's part of the Labor Party.
You heard it here. Confirmed. Oh my God, I said the word we in reference to them. Holy shit, this is bad, Shane. I forgot how bad this is. It's honestly truly a testament. It's like really like cartoon level of like, he said the word we. Your witness, Your Honor. I pay to see videos of Albo and Daniel Andrews doing the debate role plays. I don't know what that means. Accepts his casualty. Thank you very much for the €5. From what I can gather, he's attempting to spin you acting on your own principles and not conveniently serving a party into a form of dishonesty. Yeah, that's actually a really good way of summing it up. Yes, I literally couldn't have put it better myself. I've been trying to do that for the last hour and a half. Thank you, though.
Jordies claims Labor is not corrupt, but apparently everyone else is. Bottom line is YouTuber friendly.
Yes, that's what I said there. I said because you guys sitting there and endlessly saying that everyone's fucking corrupt when they clearly aren't, and giving you very, very specific examples of how the Labor Party has made the government far more transparent in this country. In fact, one of the most transparent governments on earth. That was all them, right? Because of that, I am saying that only the Labor Party isn't corrupt and everyone else is corrupt. Jesus, it's just incredible to me that you would say these things, because it's like, look, if anybody ever tries to scrutinize you like I'm doing right now, you really do look like a dumb hunk of shit. I suppose that is because you are a dumb hunk of shit.
Jordies has attacked other YouTube journalists and commentators.
Just watched the Lourdes Jordan Shanks video and you were literally talking about what I just listened to in Awaken the Giant Within. It must be a sign. Thank you. Hell yeah, Redacted. Thank you very much for the $5. You keep watching that, my boy.
Having the hide to hold the federal Labor government to account, which Friendlyjordies only pays lip service to. The Labor policies. Bottom line is YouTuber Friendlyjordies has attacked other YouTube journalists and commentators for having the hide to hold the federal Labor government to account.
Which he's clearly done here, as you can plainly see, guys. He said that they're bad over and over again. And that's basically what all those commentators do. And that is holding them to account. And lying. And also not understanding basic historical events. This is holding the Labor Party to account, according to the new media and the whinge merchant class. You ready? Not understanding basic policy. Not bothering to read into complicated policy. That's a classic Swollen Pickles classic right there. Not understanding the policy he's criticising, not reading into it at all. Lying, straight out lying, saying dumb platitudes over and over again like Shane Dowling has here. That's what we got. This is holding the government to account.
Which Friendlyjordies only pays lip service to. The Labor Party brought in the kids' social media ban, tried to pass misinformation laws to silence the public, and now have Friendlyjordies telling people not to whinge about Labor.
There we go. Yes, we have. There we have it. Right there, confirmed, because Shane Dowling said so. I am getting told by the Labor Party to make the video whinge merchants. Seems to contradict his previous conspiracy theory that it was Kevin Rudd that was telling them to do that. But now it seems to be Labor Party headquarters that is telling me this, and me sitting there and saying that these people are slop creators, that are morons, is the Labor Party saying, oh yeah, you know what you should do? You know what you should do? You should make a YouTube video that I think ranked 8 out of 10 in terms of performance. That'll get him. See, Friendlyjordies is French. He says supporting Labour because he has the Australia's interests in mind, but I know better. See, I also said Labour is a French way. Barnsley, that's actually a very clever deep cut. Thank you very much. If I become a paying member of the Labor Party, does that make me corrupt? Yes. Yes, of course it does, Mr. Cruisen. But you heard what Shane Dowling has said. That is what is happening. Fact.
Why the Labor Party so scared of social media and new online media? A lot of people watch Friendlyjordies videos for entertainment, not because they care about the reliability and or bias of the content.
Well, I can tell you right now, I can tell you something right now from a man that we have just thoroughly shown will have an opinion and then completely change what the material facts are based on the opinion or the vibe that he has of that person. I'm a living example of it. He was clout chasing me and dick riding me when it was popular to do so. Now that it's not popular to do so amongst his particular class of just little whinge merchant cunts, all of a sudden, yes, it's bad, but, you know, and then changing the circumstances of court cases that he was saying were good and big moves for me on my end, and then all of a sudden I lost it for Google. You know what I mean? So this guy here now is saying...
So he won't lose many of those for entertainment, not because they care about the reliability and or bias of the content.
Yeah. That's let me just make this an unequivocal statement. If you are listening to Shane Dowling, it's because you care about non-biased content. Fact. From source, Shane Dowling. What a source. Got into Wingspan partly because of you. Digital PC version is great, and now I want to get into Wormspan and Finspan. To Wormspan, come on. Come on, it's nerdy enough as it is. Finspan or bust.
So he won't lose many of those viewers. But plenty.
Yes, it's incredible as well. You know the reasons that people watch my content. Oh, man, he's such a genius, isn't he? Because the thing is, you know, I'll let you in on a secret. I don't know why people watch our content, frankly.
Many of viewers would also believe the content is factual, and many of those viewers.
And as he's proven here, he was this huge stickler for the facts, presenting none, just whining the whole time. It's incredible. I accuse him of being a whinge merchant. All he does is whinge. Doesn't bring up any actual solid argument.
Will start to ask questions if they haven't been already. Friendlyjordies has a number of stuff.
Oh, okay, hang on. People are watching because of entertainment, but they're going to start asking questions because I'm a Labour shill. This is incredible. This is exactly the same person that I keep talking about over and over again. They're the worst person on earth. It's, oh, you're saying something bad about a politician. You're a reliable source of news. Oh, you're saying something good about a politician. You are biased and corrupt. It really just says something about your psychological outlook on the world. That's it. It has nothing to do with reality. How much better would Australia's political internet landscape be if people presented your points honestly, especially ADU Pickles Shane, similarly with Hassan? Like if people dropped the pitchforks and debated honestly, yeah, exactly. That would be way better. But that's just not the reality, because usually the people that get into this, as you can see with Shane Dowling, if there's one thing that you can definitely tell from him, he's clearly mentally ill. He's clearly insane. Right? And that's the vast majority of people that are into politics, especially if you want to get into this game, right? Like, you know, I'm a little bit nutty myself, yeah? But I'm still tethered enough to reality to have some semblance of what it is. None of the rest are. It's all delusion, all of it. This is why it's so easy to steamroll these people, because it is just a deluded fantasy that they live in. It is not tethered to fundamental material reality at all. And if you did start arguing on fundamental material reality, all of a sudden you start realizing, oh, okay, I actually can't make any of the points that I've made in this last 8 minutes. It's impossible to do. I really need to know who hurt him enough to go out and make this poor excuse of a character assassination. Oh, man. It'd have to be one of his divorcees, surely. I mean, don't you think, every time I ever look at Shane Dowling, I think, 3 divorced wives, 2 of them were mail order brides. Oh, that's not play.
For Jordan Shanks is the face of the business and has to take the heat for the good and bad. Takes a real hide for Friendlyjordies to use his YouTube channel, which he pushes propaganda for the Labor Party, to tell people to be silent. Oh, stop whinging. You're not entitled to your say on political issues. And he spends a big...
You're entitled to your say, as I'm entitled to point out that you're a fucking moron, Shane. That's my right. This is incredible. It's like this one-way street endlessly. It's like I get this type of person endlessly. I get to shit on everyone constantly. As soon as someone shits on me, this is suppression. This is sedition. Are you serious? You're not even going to make the point that most of your other contemporaries do of, Friendlyjordies just goes after me really harshly and he's bullying me. It's not even he's bullying me. It's I am being silenced. I'm getting sent into the Tower of London to be tortured. Why? Because Friendlyjordies made a YouTube video about me that wasn't even about me. I'm so irrelevant. It's okay you lost $1 million, Geordie. I'll also bet that Pauline Hanson would make Prime Minister. I also bet that Pauline Hanson would make Prime Minister. What a sick call. Did something happen between you and Michael West? I haven't seen you use his work in a while. Mind Turtle. No, nothing. Nothing at all. Thank you for the $20 though, by the way. But no, I think I talked to him. Well, probably not that recently. Probably like maybe a month ago. he just sent me a couple of texts about his, what was it? Some election idea that he had.
Big chunk of that video whinging about the Greens. Anyhow, make sure you visit my website, Kangaroo Court of Australia, and you can read that article. It's got a lot of links in it.
It's incredible. He sits there and says like, oh, you asked for donations at the end. Here we go. Get ready.
Further information. And please hit the like and subscribe button and notification button. And please share this video on social media. And
Yeah,
Kangaroo
Sheila
Court of
Shane.
Australia's independent media.
Sheila
Publish a website
Shane.
and a YouTube channel.
Yeah, it doesn't make you a
100%
hypocrite at all. There it is. There's the
viewers like
PayPal
yourself, so
button.
please support
Oh,
my
right
Patreon
there.
account or
Just
PayPal
press on
account.
that one.
You can
Press on
name
that
out.
one, as did the, as we found out, corrupt pedo judges. Very concerning news, wasn't it? Well, anyway, as we can see, that man is stupid and insane. And I thought that it would be good to just go through one of his videos, and I'm already falling asleep at 9:30 because of that man's voice. That's great. I feel like I'm going to have one of the greatest nights of sleep that I've ever had. Look, what he should do is an ASMR channel. That's what he should do. Sit there all day, you know, rambling on about what he read in the news and misrepresenting it, just inventing articles that he read, being like,
Also, Anthony Albanese has been found to have a little pixie up his ass, and that little pixie sometimes flies out, and that pixie wakes me off at night while I'm asleep, and then he goes back with my cum and tries to intimidate Anthony Albanese. Of course, he's a man, so he can't do that, but he does try to do it nonetheless, and I think that this needs to be brought to your attention in public.
I'm sorry, buddy, your Bill Dauterive? No, man. You know what he is? You know what he is before we go?
Let me show you how I'm using Grammarly's AI tools when I'm feeling less than creative at work.
No. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Don't you think? This is him. It even looks like him. Look.
He said, I don't care if they lay me off either, because I told Bill that if they move my desk one more time, then I'm quitting. I'm going to quit. And I told Dom too, because they've moved my desk 4 times already this year, and I used to be over.
It's the guy that does Bill Dauterive's voice, but it's this character. So you're half right. I'll give you points for this, but I'm sorry. Let's look. For fuck's sake, look at this. This is just his life before he became the fugitive journalist. Look.
$3, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30, $40, $50 a month, whatever suits your budget. It all helps out in a big way. And a link for the Patreon account and PayPal account.
By the window, and I could see the squirrels, and they were married, but then they switched. See?
Hi, Milton.
But
Fuck, it's me. Holy shit, it's fucking me. Hey, Shane, I'm gonna need you to stop the bullshit. That'd be great.
Milton, we're going to need to go ahead and move you downstairs into storage B.
We're gonna have to downgrade your credibility on YouTube permanently there, Shane.
We have some new people coming in, and we need all the space we can get.
But this is my livelihood, pretending that I'm a massive hero online. I specifically start everything from saying I'm a fugitive journalist. So if you make me out to be the quivering idiot that I am, I'd probably do some money.
No space.
So if you could just go ahead and pack up.
Yeah, but you kind of were really overdoing it on shitting on me relentlessly for a month there, Shane. So I think that this is the end of the road for you, champ. You are now downgraded officially to the rest of the slop tubers without really even knowing what slop tube is.
Your stuff and move it down there. That would be terrific.
I was
okay.
I could stay. Excuse me. I believe you have my stapler.
Milton?
Yes.
What's happening? Say, Milton, you know what would be great?
Wait, no.
Since you're down here, it would be really great if you could just sort of take care of the cockroach problem we've been having in here.
No, that's really not my job, and I haven't received my paycheck this week.
For now, why don't you go ahead and get yourself a flashlight and a can of pesticide and...
Excuse me? Excuse me?
And that's it. That's his audience at the end. That's his audience after all of this. I mean, that was always his audience.
Excuse me. Hello, I'm Shane Dowling, fugitive journalist. Please listen to my insane ramblings. Sometimes, when I accuse literally everyone on Earth of being a pedophile, I am occasionally right. Hello? Hello?
What should I have for dinner, Bali edition? Matthew, are you in Bali? Man, if you're in Bali, you know what you should have? Schnitzel and chips. Schnitzel and chips. The traditional cuisine of the area. It is Australia too. Change. Okay. All right. That's it. Before I go, and I will be going soon, but new poll. Should Bali change its name to Australia too? Didn't even give Bali a capital letter. Yeah, yes, 100%. It has to be 100%. Oh, don't. Whoever writes no is a bum. Boo. Boo anyone that writes no. Yeah, it's uncanny, isn't it? Oh, man, I need to get those glasses, hey. Yeah, what was this guy's name again? Hi, Milton. Is there anything else? Milton Office Space?
With Sportsbet's NRL same-game multi-tracker, you can track your multi live, all in one place. Nobody does it easier than Sportsbet.
Oh, man. Got so many positive experiences
Chances are you're
with
about to
Sportbet.
lose.
Yep. Don't I know it. Man, Office Space was sick. Finally, something that we can mostly agree on. 80%, I'm sorry, but the no's have it. The no's do not have it. Sorry. They do not have it. Anyway, look, we'll watch this one Office Space. Now that I'm just in the mood, it was a sick film. What do you reckon? Office Space, greatest film of all time? Better than Citizen Kane. All right, that's what I'm writing now. All right, look, that poll is over. This is the new poll. You ready? Is Office Space 2 better than Citizen Kane? Really get my area. Sorry, I just need to respond to this email. I just yeah, is Office Space 2 better than? All right, yeah. Sorry, here we go. Citizen Kane. Poll. Yes, that'll do. Wait, why did I write Office Space 2? Oh man, I'm too tired. That was from the last Australia one. All right, I'm stopping it again. I can't have this. No, I'm ending poll. Is Office Space better than Citizen Kane?
Mr. Lumberg told me to talk to payroll, and then payroll told me to talk to Mr. Lumberg, and I...
Man, look, honestly, I think Milton might be one of my favorite characters in all of filmic history. He's pretty good.
I still haven't received my paycheck, and he took my stapler, and he never brought it back, and then they moved my desk to storage.
I'm sorry, how could you say that this is not better than Citizen Kane?
And there was garbage on it, and I don't appreciate
why don't you go back down and sit at your desk? Mr. Lumberg should be here any minute.
Mr. Lumberg.
Just go sit at your desk, okay?
Okay, but I'm going to just... I'm telling you right now, my desk is located in the basement. I'm just going to have to take my stapler back because it's my stapler, and I told him it's my... It's my stapler, it's a swing line.
It's fucking Shane Dowling. It's incredible. It's Shane Dowling. With my stapler. that's right. He had to face. Look, I'm sorry. This is a massive spoiler of the
Lawrence,
movie,
you
but
in
whatever.
there?
If you don't want to watch, log off now. We're finishing it out.
Hey, Peter, man.
Hey. So I might be going away for a while.
Yeah, I know, man. It's a bummer, dude. What can I say?
Yeah. Well, time to go face the music. You take care of yourself if I don't see you, all right?
You too, man. Take her easy, bud. All right. Hey, Peter.
Yeah.
Watch out for your cornhole, bud.
Okay, Lawrence.
Look, I'm sorry. I've got to say it. I am the protagonist. My life completely changed because of a burning. That's, yeah, all right. I've changed. Not the boss. It's just incredible. Both films finish with fire being cleansed. Such is life, eh? Anyway, look, thank you so much for tuning into this stream. I appreciate your time and effort, and I will see you another time. But yeah, let's all go watch the Origin highlight reels, as you clearly all missed it. And I'm assuming that no one in New South Wales or Queensland tuned in for this one. Fair enough. See you next time.